very few things that I'm very passionate about in this life, and two of those things are books and Taylor Swift. So I thought, why not combine them? Because I know a lot of you guys also love books and Taylor Swift. Even if you don't love one or the other, I feel like you'd still enjoy this video, so keep watching. If you don't love books or Taylor Swift, I don't know if you're welcome here. Just kidding. So today I'm gonna be doing book recommendations based off Taylor Swift songs. I saw on TikTok that people are doing this with a bunch of different artists. So I thought I would take all of Taylor Swift's songs, look through them, and pair them with like some of my favorite books, or like books that I feel like really fit the storyline of the song, because Taylor Swift songs, she's a storyteller. Every single song tells such a vivid story that you can picture, and you're able to relate to them so much. But personally, I can't relate to her songs, her love songs, so I relate them in the only way I can, which is to books. So I have a list today of a bunch of songs that I paired with books that think they would go together. Either if you love the song, you would love the book, or if you love the book, you would love the song. So if you need song recommendations, book recommendations, if you just love Taylor Swift and books, then keep on watching. The first song I'm gonna be talking about is the song Peace from Folklore, because it is my favorite Taylor Swift song. I literally have a tattoo dedicated to this song. I love it so much. I'm just gonna read some lyrics from the songs and then explain what books I paired them with and why. So I paired Peace with Brightside by Kim Holden, because literally the entire song of Peace is about a relationship, and the main line of the song is, would it be enough if I could never bring you peace? So I loved this comparison because Kate in Brightside knows people rely on her for her optimism and being so happy. She's literally has the nickname Brightside because she always looks on the bright side of things. She is so happy all the time and like just so optimistic, and everyone just loves her and is drawn to her immediately. But she has a secret. She's hiding something from literally everyone she loves. She has a childhood best friend who's in love with her, and then she's falling in love with this new boy she met at college. And while this is all happening, she's really struggling with something, but doesn't show it at all, because she doesn't want to put the burden onto the people that she loves. It reminded me of that line, like, would it be enough? Like, would I still be good enough for you if I'm not going to be this perfect, happy person all the time, if I'm actually struggling with something like a normal person? And there are so many lines in Peace, like, I never had the courage and convictions as long as danger is near. It's just around the corner because it lives in me. I could never give you peace. And I just thought that was just a perfect comparison. I love this song so much. It literally makes me want to cry because I love it so much. It's literally why I got a tattoo for it. All these people think love's for show, but I would die for you in secret. The devil's in the details, but you got a friend in me. Would it be enough if I could never give you peace? I'm editing right now, but I just needed to chime in and say, I don't know how I missed this lyric, but give you the silence that only comes when two people understand each other. Family that I chose, now that I see your brother as my brother. That lyric is so key to why I picked this comparison. I don't know how I forgot it. I can't really go into why, but there's like family connections, and yeah, that lyric is also really important. She's just a genius, Taylor Swift. But yes, that is like my book choice for Peace. Really quick interruption to talk about the sponsor of today's video, which is Verb Energy. If you're anything like me, you have multiple coffees a day, are always amped up on caffeine, and then end up crashing by the end of the day, which is not fun. I have a great alternative for you. Let me explain. Look how cute, first of all. So these little Verb Energy bars is infused with green tea, which allows this little bar to have as much caffeine as espresso. So this is like having espresso, but it's just a little 90-calorie little bar. So this is like a great alternative to having multiple coffees a day. Like, you have one coffee in the morning and then a Verb Energy bar later, and you're good to go. And this is so much more convenient than having to go stop and buy a $6 coffee or make a coffee and bring it with you. Like, this is so convenient. Just pull out and eat. I'm literally drinking coffee right now. Now I'm not even gonna drink this. So you can get the trial kit, which gives you the opportunity to try their top 4 flavors: blueberry crisp, pumpkin spice latte, salted peanut butter, and vanilla latte. So the trial pack is really awesome because you can try the top 4 flavors for just the cost of shipping, which is literally less than $1. You can get the top 4 flavors for less than $1. I'm not making this up, I swear. The first 1,000 people that use my link get the trial pack for less than $1. Click the link in my description and you can get the 4 flavors for less than $1 the first 1,000 people, so go do that. Thank you so much, Verb Energy, for sponsoring this part of today's video. And then the next comparison I have is 2 songs, Death by a Thousand Cuts and State of Grace, for the book It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. This book is about Lily, who meets this boy and he is literally perfect, Their relationship is like, you fall in love with Ryle, you love him so much, their relationship is so perfect until it's not, and it starts going really downhill. As Lily is realizing how downhill her relationship is going, she starts reading from her childhood diary or like journal, because she wants to remind herself of her first love with this boy named Atlas when she was in high school, I believe, and how she felt in that relationship, what her family was going through at that time, to try to remind herself the things she told herself when she was young, the things Atlas would tell her, trying to get advice kind of, or trying to find comfort in her past to help her with what she's going through now. It says, flashbacks waking me up, I get drunk but it's not enough because the morning comes and you're not my baby. I look through the windows of this love even though we boarded them up, chandelier still flickering here, but I can't pretend it's okay when it's not. It's death by a thousand cuts. That reminded me kind of her relationship with Atlas and Ryle, saying like flashbacks waking me up, like her flashbacks about Atlas, like I get drunk but it's not enough, her relationship with Ryle, like that's going to shit and she doesn't know what to do about it. I look through the windows of this love, like her reading about her past love, but we boarded them up. She does not in contact with Atlas anymore. She has no idea where he is. I can't pretend it's okay when it's not, her relationship with Ryle. And then the lyric, you said it was a great love, one for the ages. If the story's over, why am I still writing pages? And that reminds me of her going back to her diary. Like, if our love story's over, why am I still going back and reading about it? And you get to see her journal entries, which was like my favorite part of the entire book, of her relationship with Atlas. I love him so much. The bridge, my heart, my hips, my body, my love, trying to find a part of me that you didn't touch, reminds me of Ryle. He ruins everything and she's like left broken after it. Like the layer, like trying to find a part of me that you didn't touch. Quiet my fears with a touch of your hand, reminds me of Atlas. My time, my wine, my spirit, my trust, trying to find a part of me you didn't take up. Gave you too much but it wasn't enough, but I'll be all right. It's just a thousand cuts. Ryle. Ryle immediately. So yeah, Death by a Thousand Cuts definitely reminds me of It Ends With Us. And then I also chose State of Grace, which the acoustic version of State of Grace is like so underrated. It's like one of my favorite Taylor Swift songs, but there's a lyric like, we are alone with our changing minds, we fall in love till it hurts or bleeds or fades in time, and I never saw you coming and I'll never be the same. Kind of reminds me of Ryle, because I never saw you coming. Like they met in this epic way and had this epic romance, and I'll never be the same because of how it went down. We fall in love till it hurts or bleeds or fades in time. And then the lyric, you come around and the armor falls, pierce the room like a cannonball. Now all we'd know is don't let go. We are alone, just you and me, up in our room with a slate to clean. You were never a saint and I loved in shades of wrong. We learned to live with the pain, mosaic broken hearts, but this love is brave and wild. Reminds me of Atlas. They wanted to be together, it didn't work out when they were young. We learned to live with the pain, but this love is brave and wild. It will live on. They will reunite. I believe in them. But this is a state of grace. This is a worthwhile fight. Love is a ruthless game unless you play it good and right. These are the hands of fate. You're my Achilles heel. This is the golden age of something good and right and real. Reminds me of her wanting to find the person that she's always loved after this horrible thing that she experiences. Okay, then the next song is The Way I Loved You. I love this song so much. It's more of like an upbeat scream singing song, but it's so good. And I paired this song with Serenading Heartbreak by Ella Fields, and it is a perfect comparison. Let me tell you why. So in Serenading Heartbreak, the main girl has been in love with her brother's best friend since she was like a kid. Like growing up, she's always been in love with him, and finally they have like a connection and a moment together, but he is so all over the place. He is kind of a bad boy. He's in a band. He's like dabbling in like alcohol and like going down a kind of rocky path, not treating her right, but he is like her first love. And then she goes to college and meets this new boy, and he is such like a golden boy, and he's so funny and charming, and her family loves him. But in the back of her head, she's always just thinking about her first love with her brother's best friend, and even though he couldn't get it together at the time, she's always hoping that one day he'll come back and everything will be okay. So it's kind of a love triangle, but you see both relationships. This song is perfect for that book because in The Way I Loved You, it's literally the whole first verse is he says everything I need to hear, he's sensible and incredible, I couldn't ask for anything better, and I feel perfectly fine, but I miss screaming and fighting and kissing in the rain, and it's 2 a.m. and I'm cursing your name, so in love with you that I act insane, and that's the way I loved you. So it's literally about she met someone who's like perfect for her, but she misses the screaming and fighting and being so in love with someone that you're literally going insane. And that is so perfect for Serenading Heartbreak because that's literally exactly how she feels. She feels like her new romance is just not as passionate compared to her first love. It literally says like in the song, her like perfect boyfriend that she has now, he respects my space, he calls me exactly when he says he will, he's close to my mother and my father, he's charming and I'm comfortable, but I still miss our toxic relationship pretty much. It's literally one of my favorite songs on Fearless. I love it so much, and I think that comparison is so perfect. Every time I hear that song, it reminds me of Serenading Heartbreak, so I knew I had had to include it in this video. Okay, next is You Are in Love. Such a good song. Obviously every Taylor Swift song is good, but I paired this one with Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan. In this book, Brie moves to a new town and she meets this boy and everyone is like, ugh, stay away from him, he's so weird. But really, he has been through so much trauma. He doesn't speak anymore and he's so shy and so quiet and so reserved, but she somehow forms this friendship with him. He's so innocent and pure and cute and wholesome, and it's obvious they have attraction to each other. He has been through so much, she has been through so much, and they just find like comfort in each other. The way he doesn't speak, it just comfort in the silence. And then the lyrics in You're in Love, the introduction is all about like, one look, dark room meant just for you, like no proof, one touch, but you felt enough. And then it says, you can hear it in the silence, you can feel it on the way home, you can see it with the lights out, you are in love. And that, like, you can hear it in the silence because he doesn't speak. Literally, a whole relationship is pretty much in silence. And I just, when I heard this song and related it to that book, like, you can hear it in the silence. Like, you can literally hear how much they love each other in the silence. You can feel it, you can see it with the lights out, and their love is so pure. I was like, this is perfect, because the way they love each other, they're soulmates. Morning, his place, burnt toast Sunday, you keep his shirt, he keeps his word, for once you let go of your fears and your ghosts. And she has such a traumatic past, and she literally says in her head the only time she can relax is when she's with Archer and she feels safe with him because she's in a dangerous situation. She finds solace in him, and that line is just so perfect for it. So yeah, You're in Love and Archer's Voice, perfect, amazing, love both of them so much. Okay, then this comparison I'm very proud of because it's two songs that perfectly together tell the story of this book. New Year's Day and Cardigan tell the story of Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. Love in Other Words is a childhood friends to lovers story told in the past and present perspective. They're best friends as kids and watching them fall in love as they get older into their teens. And then the present perspective is them in their late 20s, I believe, not talking anymore, not friends, not in a relationship, nothing, no communication. Then you're watching them reunite, re-fall in love, and trying to find out why they separated in the first place. Something happened on New Year's Eve between them that you're trying to figure out, and that was the last time they saw each other. So that's why I picked the song New Year's Day. It's literally about waking up on New Year's Day and being with this person. Kind of a friends to lovers song, I feel like, too, because it's like, I want your midnights. I want to kiss you at midnight, but I'll be cleaning up bottles with you on New Year's Day. Don't read the last page, but I stay when it's hard or it's wrong or we're making mistakes. Hold on to the memories, they will hold on to you, and I will hold on to you. And then the line, please don't ever become a stranger whose laugh I could recognize everywhere. And this line is what made me choose this song, because not only did their fallout happen on New Year's, but also they were best friends their whole lives, and this one event that happened is the reason they became strangers. But then Cardigan comes in. You're probably wondering, what does Cardigan have to do with New Year's Day? But in a different way, Cardigan also relates to this book, because this whole song is about two lovers. Whenever the girl felt bad about herself, the guy was always there for her to make her feel like she was the best. And it says, like, I knew you playing hide and seek and giving me your weekends, like when they were kids. That's what it reminds me of the past chapters. And then it says, to kiss in cars and downtown bars was all we needed. You drew stars around my scars, but now I'm bleeding. The girl character in this book, Macy, opened up to Elliot about like so much stuff that she wouldn't tell anyone else, and something ends up happening between them anyway. Like, he doesn't end up staying, they end up separating. So I thought, like, you drew stars around my scars, but now I'm bleeding is like, now they're separated even after she opened up to him. When you are young, they assume you know nothing, but I knew you'd linger like a tattoo kiss. I knew you'd haunt all of my what ifs. The smell of smoke would hang around this long because I knew everything when I was young. I knew I'd curse you for the longest time, chasing shadows in the grocery line. I knew you'd miss me once the thrill expired and you'd be standing in my front porch light, and I knew you'd come back to me. That's the song explaining how the guy messed up. He did something wrong, and then she was distraught about it. I knew you'd come back once the thrill expired. Whatever he was off doing, she knew he would always come back, and that reminded me of this book, because can they work through it? Do they come back together in the present? And it just reminds me so much of Cardigan. I don't want to like spoil stuff, but yeah, well, after you read it, you'll definitely be able to see what I'm talking about in relation to Cardigan and New Year's Day. Okay, the next one is Alyssa Affairs and The Truth About Heartbreak by B. Celeste. In this book, River is a child from the foster system. She had a really rough upbringing. She's been through so much, but she is taken in by this family. She has a new adopted brother and great adopted parents, and she meets her brother's best friend, Everett. And Everett is so protective of her at school. He's always looking out for her. Same with her brother, Oliver, but it's kind of like she notices Everett Everett. She kind of had a crush on Everett. She felt safe with Everett because he would like protect her and look out for her, and she was super shy and reserved in her shell. And she kind of had like a childish crush on him her whole life, but never expected to go anywhere because he is older. But then 10 years go by in the book. There is a time jump. Everett is in a committed relationship for years. I think like almost the whole time of the time jump, like all 10 years. River is much older. Something happens between River and Everett when they see each other after all these years. I related to illicit affairs because like, make sure nobody sees you leave, hood over your head, keep your eyes down, tell your friends you're out for a run, you'll be flushed when you return. Tell yourself you can always stop. What started in beautiful rooms ends in meeting in parking lots. This song is so perfect for The Truth About Heartbreak because this whole book is him in this relationship with this girl that you can tell he doesn't even love, and he's so obviously in love with River, and River's so obviously in love with him, but there's a reason he can't leave this relationship. It is so hard to read because you ship her and Everett so much, and you're like, Everett, why won't you just leave this girl that you don't even love? I really think it's perfect for illicit affairs because even the lyric like, leave the perfume on the shelf that you picked out just for him so you leave no trace behind like you don't even exist. And you want to scream, don't call me kid, don't call me baby, look at this godforsaken mess that you made me. You showed me colors you know I can't see with anyone else. And it's so perfect because they've had this connection their whole lives. You know that they're soulmates, and it's just so hard to watch them not be able to be together because there comes a point where River's like, we can't do this. And then the last lyric is, and you know damn well for you I would ruin myself a million little times. And it's just perfect for the book. If you want a deep, good, older characters and like a more mature storyline, you would enjoy The Truth About Heartbreak and the song Alyssa Affairs, obviously. Next song is Dress, which is so underrated too. I love this song. I related it to The Hating Game by Sally Thorne because the lyrics, like, our secret moments in a crowded room, they've got no idea about me and you. All this silence and patience, pining and anticipation, my hands are shaking from holding back from you. That whole like verse reminds me so much of Josh and Lucy. They work together. It's a workplace enemies to lovers romance. But like, are they really enemies? They're competing for the same job title, but they have so much chemistry and so many moments together where you're like, you guys are so in love, like stop. And the lyrics just being like, pining in anticipation, my hands are shaking from holding back from you, reminds me so much of their angst and chemistry between them while they're like in forced proximity situations. Then say my name and everything just stops. I don't want you like a best friend, only bought this dress so you could take it off. There's a scene where Lucy purposely wears a dress to get Josh's attention. I'm pretty sure there's a scene of that, and that reminded me of that. Only bought this dress so you could take it off. Even though we hate each other, but like, I want you to look at me and I want to get your attention. And there are so many moments where like Josh like hates her, but then she'll catch him like longingly staring at her from across the room and like being so jealous over her and protective of her and taking care of her when she really needs him. He's such a softie at heart, and I love that part of the book. So yeah, that is my relation between Dress, just because of how much you want someone and no one knows about it. Reminds me so much of The Hating Game, and I love The Hating Game so much because of the enemies to lovers build up. They hate each other, but it's so obvious that they don't. Like, their walls come down sometimes and you see how much they actually care for each other. This is what I'm so excited about. Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover is my favorite book of all time. I know there's so many Colleen Hoover books in this video, but I found so many Taylor Swift songs that relate to Colleen Hoover books. Sorry, not sorry. Ugly Love is about this man named Miles and this girl named Tate. Tate's brother is Miles' best friend. The chapters alternate from Tate's point of view in the present and Miles' point of view in his first relationship in the past. Miles was so in love with his first girlfriend, and you watch him fall in love with her, be in love with her, the way he talked about her, the way he treated her, and how in love he was with her. And then you're in the present and you see how closed off, how cold. It seems like he has no heart. You can't imagine how these two Miles are the same person, the one Tate is meeting and the one that you're seeing in the past. Miles and Tate form a friends with benefits relationship, no strings attached. Tate gets strings attached. Tate is falling for him. They agree to do friends with benefits. She's obviously catching feelings and he knows that, but he still continues to use her for this physical relationship. And while it's something they agreed on, you're kind of mad at him because you're like, she obviously loves you. And then he comes to a realization. It's just really good, and it will make you cry, and I love it so much. Besides that long synopsis, the songs I related it to by Taylor Swift, there's two: Evermore and The Last Time. Let me explain. I think Evermore is the best Taylor Swift song I can find to relate to Ugly Love because I replay my footsteps on each stepping stone trying to figure out where I went wrong. I have chills. He blames himself so much for what happened to him, and he is so miserable because of it that he won't allow himself to experience anything good, and he just can't let go. The lyric, I had a feeling so peculiar that this pain would be forevermore. He thinks he's gonna be like this way forever. I can't remember what I used to fight for. Reminds me of Miles with love, his feelings toward love. I rewind the tape, but all it does is pause on the very moment all was lost. And then the last verse, after saying, I have a feeling that this pain is gonna be forevermore, it says, and I couldn't be sure, I had a feeling so peculiar that this pain wouldn't be forevermore. And that reminds me of the ending, when you finally get Miles coming to terms and explaining what's happening with him and why he is the way he is. I have a feeling that this won't be forevermore. After thinking his whole life he's never gonna change. This lyric and what happens at the end of the book, perfect. Then I also related to The Last Time by Taylor Swift. The first lyric is literally Miles and Tate. Find myself at your door just like all those times before. I'm not sure how I got here, all the roads they lead me here. The first time they meet, he shows up at her door. He is drunk at her doorstep and she takes care of him, and that's when she immediately gets intrigued by him because he says something to her while he's drunk that intrigues her. He shows up at her door all the time after that, once they form this relationship. And then this song more reminds me of Tate's story. Right before your eyes, I'm breaking, no past, no reason why, just you and me. This time I'm asking you this, put my name at the top of your list. This is the last time I'm asking you why, you break my heart in the blink of an eye. Tate is miserable because she loves Miles so much and he will not love her and will not open up to her. And that whole verse just reminds me of her, like, my heart is breaking. This is the last time I'm gonna ask you to make me your priority. Like, please love me, basically like begging him. And that really, it hurts, but that verse really reminds me of that. So yeah, that's why I chose The Last Time and Evermore for Ugly Love. The next song and book I chose was Epiphany by Taylor Swift and The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. This book hurts. This book hurts and this song is perfect for it. But let me explain. The Song of Achilles is Greek mythology retelling. You don't need to know anything about Greek mythology to read it. I didn't know anything going into it. It's so easy to read. Don't be thrown off by the whole Greek mythology thing. It's literally written like a romance novel, but so beautiful. Like, the quotes are so good. That's the reason I love the book so much. The story is about Achilles and Patroclus. They become companions, which is like Achilles brings Patroclus everywhere with him because Achilles is like destined to be the best fighter. He has like a prophecy, and so he's training. Patroclus is with him. It's childhood friends, grow up together to lovers. They go through so much. It is so sad. It is one of my favorite books of all time. The first lyric of the song is, keep your helmet, keep your life, just a flesh wound, here's your rifle. Crawling up the beaches now, sir, I think he's bleeding out, and some things you just can't speak about. I can't even explain why this song is the Song of Achilles, but you know if you know. With you I serve, with you I fall, watch you breathe in, watch you breathe out. Something med school did not cover. Literally, Patroclus in the book is like the doctor, the medical. Achilles is the fighter, the warrior, and I just thought like something med school did not cover. And then the last lyric is, only 20 minutes to sleep, but you dream of some epiphany. Just one single glimpse of relief to make some sense of what you've seen. And that just reminds me of after everything that happens in the Song of Achilles, like the last few chapters. I just can't even explain it. So then we have Cruel Summer, and I am relating this book to Heartbones by Colleen Hoover. Cruel Summer is literally the anthem of Heartbones. Heartbones is about this girl whose mom passes away. She moves in with her dad, who she hasn't seen since she was a kid. He lives at this beach house. He's really wealthy. She came from a really rough upbringing with her mom, had next to nothing, and she gets there. She meets this rich boy and this whole friend group that are trying to set them up with each other. As much as they're fighting it, especially her, she's like, we have nothing in common. I don't like his attitude. He gets around with a bunch of girls. I don't like him. They start going on all these kind of adventures together and hanging out together one-on-one and having these intimate little moments together, and he ends up being so sweet and so different than what she originally pinned him as. But they decide that they're only gonna be together for the summer. As soon as summer ends, they're breaking it off. They're not bringing this to college with them. It's just a summer romance. We all know how that goes. Obviously they're gonna catch feelings. So this reminds me so much of Cruel Summer by Taylor Swift because the whole song tells a story of a summer that these two people spent together. The song's kind of like an enemies to lovers vibe, like, if I bleed, you'll be the last to know. I don't want to keep secrets just to keep you. I snuck in through the garden gate every night that summer just to steal my fate, and I scream for whatever it's worth. I love you, ain't that the worst thing you ever heard? So perfect for Heartbones. Like, the way they agreed to not fall in love, and when you get to the end of the summer, and obviously they've caught feelings. Oh my god, it's so perfect for this song actually. Yeah, Cruel Summer and Heartbones by Colleen Hoover, dynamic duo. So the next song I chose is This Is Me Trying by Taylor Swift, which is like personally one of the saddest songs I think she's ever written, in my opinion. I related it to the book Find You in the Dark by A. Meredith Walters and Full Tilt / All In by Emma Scott. I thought this song went perfectly with both of these stories for different reasons. So This Is Me Trying is literally about someone who is struggling with mental health, and every day is so hard for them that the littlest things are an accomplishment, and no one around them gives them the credit that they deserve for doing these things that may seem minuscule but are so difficult for them. And this whole song is literally like, this is me trying my best. So some of the lyrics are, I pulled the car off the road to the lookout, could have followed my fears all the way down. I just wanted you to know that this is me trying. They told me all my cages were mental, so I got wasted like all my potential. And my words shoot to kill when I'm mad. I have a lot of regrets about that. I just wanted you to know that this is me trying. At least I'm trying. This whole song is literally just about trying your best and no one knowing that it's your best. And this reminded me so much of Find You in the Dark, because the boy in this book has so many mental health problems and he's struggling so hard, and he's falling in love with Maggie. He's a new boy at this school and him and Maggie have an instant connection. She doesn't really know the extent of his mental health issues and until it's like getting really bad, and sometimes he takes it out on her. They go through so much like relationship struggles because of his mental health, and it's nothing he can control, and it is hard to read because you are getting frustrated with him, but it relates to this song. Like, he is trying his best and he tells her, I wish I wasn't like this, like I wish I could be what I want to be for you, like I'm trying. There are a lot of trigger warnings for this book, please look them up before you read it, but if you like a deep romance about mental health, I would read it. Also, this song reminds me of Full Tilt and All In, the duology by Emma Scott, because in the first book it seems like such a cute happy romance. Casey is in a band and she is spiraling into alcoholism, which is obviously not good, until she meets this boy named Jonah. He's so pure and sweet and they fall in love, and it is their romance. Jonah tells her he's running out of time, he's not going to be here long, and that's not a spoiler, by the way, it's literally on the front of the book or the back of the book. He's running out of time, and Casey knows that as they start forming a relationship, but she decides to go through with it anyway. She wants to be with him and they want to be together. And then after the book of Full Tilt and the heartbreak and the pain, it's Casey's story after Jonah. Obviously with this past of alcoholism, she falls back into this dark place. I thought this song was also good for the beginning of All In, when she is struggling so much until she's helped. The lyrics, it's hard to be at a party when I feel like an open wound. It's hard to be anywhere these days when all I want is you. You're a flashback in a film reel on the one screen in my town. And I just wanted you to know that this is me trying. And that verse was Full Tilt and All In to me. Like, after Jonah, all she thinks about is Jonah, and she is distraught and she's going back in this dark place. And I like this part of the song to the comparison of that book. Next song I have is Enchanted by Taylor Swift. I'm relating this to obviously The Selection. If you saw my reading vlog, you saw me read this. The Selection, I'm sure you read it when you were younger. It is about this girl, America. She's from a poor family in the country they live in. They have a king, a queen, and a prince, and the prince is looking for a wife. So basically what they do is they have 35 girls from all the different economic levels in their society. 35 different girls go to the palace, and it's basically The Bachelor, but like royalty edition. And the song Enchanted by Taylor Swift is, there I was again tonight, forcing laughter, faking smiles. Same old tired, lonely place, walls of insincerity, shifting eyes and vacancy. This reminds me of when America goes to the palace. She doesn't want to be there. She has a hometown boyfriend that she's so in love with and wants to marry, and now she's in this like bachelor to be the princess. So like the whole forcing laughter, faking smiles reminds me of when she was first there and she was like determined to go home. Your eyes whispered, have we met? Across the room your silhouette starts to make its way to me. The playful conversation starts, counter all your quick remarks like passing notes in secrecy, and it was enchanting to meet you. So obviously Enchanted gives me the royalty vibes, but also America and Maxon, the prince, have like an instant friendship and like banter, and she's not afraid to be mean to him, and he kind of likes it because everyone's so like walking on eggshells around him. So they have like a friendship right off the bat, and that's what that verse reminded me. Then the lingering question kept me up, 2 a.m. who do you love? That reminded me like Aspen, her original hometown boyfriend, or Maxon, who do you love? Who are you gonna choose? Now I'm pacing back and forth, wishing you were at my door. I'd open up and you would say, hey, it was enchanting to meet you. When she realizes she did want Maxon, or she was like planning on going for Maxon, when she finally like thought she decided who she wanted, he was off with the other girls and she was wishing that he would be one-on-one with her. The lyrics, please don't be in love with somebody else, please don't have somebody waiting on you, reminds me of when she thought he was going to choose someone else, and the whole time she has to watch him with these other girls and was so upset. So I thought this was a perfect comparison. And I think this is gonna be the last song and book recommendation in this video, but it is from Taylor's first album, self-titled debut album, and it is Mary's song, and this is a friends to lovers exact story. It's literally, when I was 7 and you were 9, I looked at you like the stars that shine. Our daddies used to joke about the two of us growing up and falling in love, and our mamas smiled and rolled their eyes. Take me back to when our world was 1 block wide. I dare you to kiss me and ran when you tried. Just 2 kids, you and I. I was 16 when suddenly I wasn't that little girl you used to see. Take me to the creek beds we turned up 2 a.m. riding in your truck, and all I need is you next to me. Take me back to that time of our very first fight, the slamming of doors instead of kissing you goodnight. A few years had come and gone around. We were sitting in our favorite spot in town, and you looked at me, got down on one knee. Take me home where we met so many years before. We'll rock our babies on that very front porch. After all this time, you and I. It's childhood, literally born and raised together to lovers. I'm relating to the book Broken Night from the Sinners of Saints / All Saints High series. So you get the Sinners of Saints series of all these couples. These couples from the 5 books have kids, and then their kids is the All Saints High series. So you already know everything about the parents, and now you get to know everything about the kids. And 2 of the couple's kids that have been friends their whole lives actually end up getting together. They were literally born and raised together, and that reminded me so much of Mary's song in Broken Night. They have known each other. He has always been so protective of her. She's super shy and quiet, like he's always been in love with her and pursuing her. It is a childhood friends to lover story, but I suggest you read the entire series before you just dive right into that one. I just thought the song was so perfect for their story. Okay guys, that is the end of today's video. I'm pretty sure this was a really long video, but it's fine. I hope you enjoyed my Taylor Swift songs to book recommendation comparisons. Love this idea, and if you want to see me do it with like other artists that I love, Harry Styles, comment down below. That's the end of today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to follow me on my other social medias, they're all linked down below as always, as well as my Amazon book wish list. And I'll see you in my next video very, very soon. Bye!